Alrighty, TGIM traders. It is Monday, so it's just another fun-filled week. And what do we have for this week? We have unemployment numbers. Should be very fascinating at the end of the week. And I guess we'll be seeing like the ADP numbers. I think it's Wednesday or Thursday. We see that, so that'll shake some things up a little bit. But we'll see. In the end result is there's just so much more money going into the equity markets than anything else at this point in time. There just isn't any room really. I think what it comes down to is they're just the demand is just so high, and you got to figure that has an influence on the currency pairs, because obviously some don't want to be long or short dollars. They would rather be just into their equity, something that's paying a return on money. It's like a carry trade basically at this point in time. All right, what do we got up on the screen? You can see, let's get the fact check spreadsheet up there too. And what we were looking at gas there on Friday at one point. How were we looking at it? Let me just see. Monthly, that's right. We were looking at the natural gas because we were making moves into the natural gas price range that had not been seen since 2018. So that was definitely fascinating. Let's see how, where are we at? Let's take a look at the Swiss franc this morning and see how the dollar is reacting. And there we are. And let's see, which one are we looking at there? I see it. Okay, so, and then we'll see how it looks on Chicago Quant. I see where we are right there. Yep, still kind of flat and down, more like down. And you can see the pressure there on the J4X. You see the pressure there. You see the white line below the dashed line. You can see the red hinky ashies. They've been pressing down for what's that, 3? Well, there's definitely one there, and then a green, and then 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is going on a 7th out of 8 days. It's been pressing into the red, just like the way we are with Chicago Quant. Whereas you can see right there, that's 1, then nothing, then the volatility signal with a red. With its green and red, and then you see there's 4, there's 5, there's 6, there's 7, going on 8, and 8 out of 9. So it's just a day ahead. That's usually how hinky ashy bars work. They're usually about 4 to 6 hours difference, something like that. It seems like. Let's see. What else can we say about that? It's just that the dollar is flatlining a little bit, but still weak. Still weak. Now let's take a peek over at the euro this morning, see how it's looking there. Now it's showing a little strength again, the euro, after being pushed down a little bit on Friday. And today they're lifting it up a little bit, and you can see the weekly now is making its challenge. So it's going to, obviously, maybe it's going to join in with the cable, because we saw the cable on Friday go into the weekly buy right there. Let's put the line in there, like that. So that, that's the wrong one. There it is. And so the weekly went into a buy on, and as you can see on the fact check spreadsheet, that is line 13, I believe it is. Oh, fact check is not up there still. Let's get that up there. Where are you? There you are. Yeah, line 13. 1 week in a buy, 6 days in a buy. That pressure has been up. Now you can see cable kind of moving down a little bit this morning against the dollar. And I think I actually saw what let's take a look at the Euro GBP. Right. So Euro GBP is actually into a daily buy. So it just shows you that the Euro is starting to act a little bit stronger now. I guess they're taking a little profit there when it comes to the cable, with the way it's moved back up towards the 40 area. Can you imagine? We went and touched the 36. We circled around that 38. And now it seems like a norm to climb up to the 140 area. And in many ways, when it starts to trade in the 144s or 146s or 48s, when it gets up into that area, everybody will really scratch their head like, wait a minute, I thought that Brexit thing was supposed to be a real disaster. What happened? Brexit occurred. The British pound is not trading at parity, as they like to say, with the euro. At 1 full British pound. Instead, it's 1.44, 1.4 even. Today, it's 1.389 and change. Last week it touched just about the 40 for 2 days straight. You can see right here it got to 139.82 basically, and this one got up to 139.84 almost. So tried to go and touch the 140 and stopped, moved down a little bit, and now we are at the 138.90 area. And I have to say it again. You know, I've been saying this for a bunch of years now. It's like, Brexit who? I mean, you know, the scare of Brexit was totally irrelevant. Totally irrelevant. All right, now let's jump over to, since we've looked at the three majors, we drift over to Turkish lira. You see, we went into a sell here a while ago, played with the buys a few times, right there, and back into the sell. And the weekly, which was flirting with a buy, you can see against the dollar, failed by the end of the week. And it started, what was fascinating is it did start off really well on Monday of last week. This thing was as high as this, whoop, let's see if we can find a spot. Right there, see this one right there? It was about as high as that. It was making that much of a gain and it just rolled over. Now we'll drift over to what we think is the true indicator of the direction of the Turkish lira, and that is the pairs trade of the euro against the Turkish lira. Right there. You see here, it didn't even flirt with it. We talked about it a few times. It got close. It was like the way this one is right there. Just very, oh, you can't see. Let's go like that. It was just like this one right there. It was close, but it could not get into the buy, whereas the dollar euro was up, you know, like this high. You know, it was jumping up. It was showing action, life. And you can see it's just failed at it. Just could not hold up. And we've been in a daily sell now for 2 full days, going on a third. And it's been in a weekly sell now for 2, 3, 4, 5 full weeks now. So and it's not, you know, it's not like it's rolled over horribly. You know, went into the weekly sell this week right here, which was in the 10 1/4, 1040 area. And now we are trading at the, you know, look at it, it's 993. So I mean, it's not exactly you know, getting beaten the daylights or anything like that. It's just kind of drifting around, which is kind of neat. You know, I bet there's a lot of Turkish lira traders that are pretty happy that it's not running up and down, you know, like 100 pips or 200 pips or 200 handles. I guess that's almost a handle at this point, isn't it? So 949 and 9.5 is a handle, and 9.51 is another handle. So I mean, this thing runs up and down handles, not just pips. You know, because there's a pip, 100 pips in a handle. So this thing goes up and down 1,000 pips. And I'm sure as a currency trader with the Turkish lira, and someone who might need to own it or needs to sell it, they must be shaking their heads like, oh man, you know, we have to put a major premium into this thing. It becomes almost a distortion. The volatility and the inflation of it becomes literally a distortion in its own right. And I would assume only the major imports are really, you know, getting into the country, and the major exports, they're probably trying to push them out the door as fast as possible at stable prices. It makes it very tough, you know, and you got to imagine that limits growth and, you know, industrialization. You know, how else can you describe it? In the fact that it probably limits a lot of things, and also what it can do is it can advance domestic industry that doesn't need outside sources. In other words, they don't have to go out and buy things outside the country, or they barter it, which is kind of nice. You know, they trade this for that. You know, an actual, you know, oil or a rock or whatever. You know, some type of mineral. That's what I meant, rock or mineral. You know, some resources, maybe a grain or something like that. You know, I'm not really sure exactly what's going on over in Turkey all the time, but I would imagine that if they can trade it physically, one for one, they'll do that. Trade one barge full of this versus one barge full of that. I mean, when you have to deal with a currency that's so volatile, you know, that's what it really comes down to. All right, from there we slide over. Since this is going down, we are assuming at the same time that the Canadian is showing strength against the dollar. And it is. You can see it's about unchanged there. It's been in a weekly buy since back here, but it seems like it's trying to break down here. We're trying to see the Canadian make its move to the south side. So far, it just hasn't been doing it. It's been, like I said, it's been in a weekly buy since back here in early June, going into the last week of May. So let's see, what was that? That was no. Let's see, that was May. Yeah. So it was the last week of May. No, but it was the first week of June. That's what it was. It started off down there, and it was from the 120s area and ran all the way up to the 128 area. So it went from the 120 area from the second week of June all the way up to the 128 area in that weekly buy. And you can see each daily buy was a nice win. That's how, for those that might be new here, you want to coordinate when you're trading the spot itself, or what we refer to as the hard delta, or the hard delta is about the best way to describe it. The spot is, we call the spot the hard delta. And so when it goes into a buy, that's when you jump on them, but you don't trade them. You're not shorting them when it goes into a sell, because we're in a weekly buy. You follow the trend, or like this one here, another hard delta, a second win in a row, a third win in a row here, and then you can see here that failed really quick, and next day you were out of it, and now we're just sitting and waiting because we are in a sell and we're in a weekly buy, again, the neutral situation. All right, where do we go from here? From there, we drift from the Canadian. We drift over to, usually we look at energy and metals, and then from there we go to the South African Rand, just to see what's going on there. So let's take a look at crude oil. Let's see, where's crude? Right there. There's gold. You see gold is showing a little weakness in here, but what's interesting is we got a weekly attempt at getting long. Look at that. And if this goes into a daily buy, it's saying, be long or be wrong. So that's something to think about. Now, obviously, this is just the initial start. As long as it stays in the plus zone, you can get long the gold when it's in a daily buy. But if it drops back down below, then you cannot. And we would love to see it like it does here. It closes in a confirm at the end of the week, and then your trend overall is down for a few weeks. Then you get a lift, and then it starts to break down again, but at a higher range, which was very curious to begin with. Let's see what silver's doing here. Silver, now that's been in a weekly sell for a while. Where's it at? Where is the sell? Oh, there it is, right here. I think I'll emphasize that a little bit better. Make it a little bit thickerish, like so. So it's been in the sell since the pink line there, since the 28-ish area. And you see we drifted down into the, not anything real death-defying. I mean, the high 25s or low 25s. Low 24, mid 24s it drifted down to in that weekly sell. That last sell was a good catch there. And we flirted a lot with remember, we came on Friday, we closed in a buy, and today we are flirting with the sell. Where's the red line at? I guess there's no red line because, see, it's still plus right there. Let's emphasize that for you a little bit better so you understand why there's no little red line on the top box there. We'll widen it there like that. And when we sent this chart out, you can see the box there. It is actually in a plus still. See plot 1 in a plus and plot 4 in a plus. So the strength is still there. Now if it had been minus with a red dot, we would have put a red line in right here, like we did at this one. And that's where we are with the silver. The silver is trying. We've been watching silver, and we thought that this week, what the gold is doing, we thought the silver was going to do. And the weekly would have jumped through. In this case here, it has not, which is kind of curious. Now, if they take this up, maybe take out this high right here from Thursday, the 25.88 area, say, chances are this thing might get going again. And being a daily buy and a weekly buy could be, maybe finally we get a little pump on the upside. After how many weeks is it? You can see that on line 9. 12 full weeks in a weekly sell. See, right there on the fact check spreadsheet. Look at that. 12 full weeks in a sell, 2 days in a buy. That's the action we're seeing here. what a quiet Monday. No one's really joining in or anything like that. So I guess everybody's figuring, let's let the week get going before we worry about looking at anything, I guess. Also, it's the summertime, and everybody's trying to enjoy in the northern hemisphere the summer months. All right, and then from there, we can take a look at copper real quick since it's just like a quiet day. And you can see right there, copper is in a sell for a couple of days here. But we're in a weekly buy since this area here. And you can see that joined in. It was a nice little pop there, and then we went into a sell, and it's been sideways since. You can't be short, you can't be long, you got to be neutral. There's middle age. Silver weekly quant has been stronger than gold until recently. Yeah, I know. It's strange, isn't it? Well, you can see it even. Look at it on the spreadsheet, the fact check spreadsheet. 8 weeks in a weekly sell for gold, and it's flirting with the weekly buy this week already on a Monday. And silver, 12 full weeks in a sell. Right now, silver's going into its 13th week in a sell. So, yeah, I mean, Robin and I, remember all three of us, we've been talking about that. People have been like, you, Robin, myself, we're waiting for that thing to close in a weekly buy. We want to see some strength in there, maybe that gives us a buy. Unfortunately, the amount of money that the Federal Reserve and the amount of money washing around overall really hinders these metal products. Really does. It really slows them down. It doesn't give them the opportunity to have any legitimate runs. Now, what's interesting here? Let's see if we can find it right there, and we'll switch pages too. Look at this page here, right there. Now there's Apple. Today's up firm, and it's in a daily buy, and it's in a weekly buy, so it doesn't surprise us that there's some buying. But look at the ETF, the GDX. GDX closed in a weekly buy, right there, last week, it's holding up firm. Now, why aren't we not seeing? Let's see. Let me just double check here. Why it's not showing it in this part? There we go. There we are. So it's holding up. There it is right there, updated. And the daily is showing strength, but it's been in a daily buy since here. I find the ETFs, or what we refer to as paper metals, paper gold, paper silver, I find them to be so much more insightful. Let's go hunt down the SLV. I think it's on this page too, right there. There's the SLV. Now SLV is climbing into the daily buy after 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 full weeks in a sell. Also at the same time, it closed in a daily buy on Friday, right here. I think, did it do it on Thursday? Yes, on Thursday it made it in there too. So Thursday it closed in a daily buy, but it's not, it wasn't in a weekly buy. Now, it gapped up that day, and it's basically going only down. Not far, but it's gone down. And then so now we're climbing into the weekly buy, and let's put this little circly thing around it, like so. And we'll move that line over, because we were thinking that this thing was going to find a way into the buy. I was prepped, so I didn't even have to create a line for it. I had it prepped right there, just waiting for it. Now silver and the paper silver is showing more strength, showing us a weekly buy. At the moment, it's in a daily buy. The paper metals, I guess you could call them, that's what they do call them, shows that type of strength. Now here, the GLD, you see the GLD has flirted in and out a few times into a weekly buy during that move up. The daily buy was right there, and you had a nice little win out of it. And then just found a way to climb into the sell again. And then, it was in a buy. It might have been in a sell. You can see the line there. So that was kind of like a no trade. And then what do we have here? We have totally sideways. And then we are now. Last week we were through the weekly buy at some point, and this thing did the same thing. It went into a daily buy here and it gapped up. And now we are flirting with the sell today, and in a weekly buy. It seems to be holding up in here. Let's make that a little bit wider so y'all can see that. Y'all can see it. There we are. You see that right there. So the paper metals seem to have a lot more trading opportunity. That's what it seems to come down to. Just the way that the difference between the Turkish lira, the dollar Turkish lira is versus the euro Turkish lira. We find that there's less trading opportunity in the euro Turkish lira, but it seems to be very indicative, or very it tells us how the trend is much better than the dollar Turkish lira. But the dollar Turkish lira gives us more trading opportunity in the sense of signals to buy or sell or be neutral. So that's the curious thing out of this whole thing at this moment in time, is that the paper money, or the paper gold and silver, seem to work a lot better, following trends and being able to catch a little of this and that. Whereas when you're watching the actual hard delta, or the futures contract or the spot, it won't give you that luxury. Kind of curious there, Not too curious, really. I mean, how many times can I say it? The central bank is the major trader of the product. There's no doubt about it. They are influencing whoever's holding large positions in it. They are influencing them by free money overnight or something. But trust me, they are influencing them. Because you see those 50,000 lots come out of nowhere. 50,000 contracts in the futures market. I mean, that's got to be like, in the old days on the trading floor. I mean, yeah. Smack the heck out of it so we can buy it cheaper. But in this case here, it doesn't seem to play that way at all. Let's see. Where do we go from here? So, we were looking at copper. We looked at the metals complex. And we looked at the paper metals. So then from there, we'll drift over to, let's see what else. Oh, let's take a quick look at platinum too. See what they're doing with platinum this morning. We have the palladium on there too. It's not the most exciting thing, but it's there. Let's put it that way. Let's see if I can get this up. Where is the little name thing? There's a weekly quant signal right there. You can make that smaller, that's for sure. And where's the daily? I don't even see the daily. And then I don't even see the name, so let's put the name in here and you can see it too. We'll show you what we're looking at. Mr. Mouse, where are you? Right there. There, and that's platinum. So let's write that in there. And this is October platinum. There we are. And that's what we're seeing there. I can move that up actually. And you can see the daily's been popping for the last couple of days. And the weekly, how long has the weekly been in a sell? What's that? Platinum is 13 weeks in a weekly sell. 13 weeks. So all of July, all of June, and middle of May, from the 12 and a half, 12 and a quarter area, something like that. What was it there? 12.50 high, 12.35 low. So 12 and a, oh, it's not even 12 and a quarter, it's a little bit better than that. But that's the pressure we've been seeing in the platinum arena. Now we're seeing an attempt, look at that today. It's trading at 0.14 at the moment. So the plot won. So it's actually showing a little life there in the weekly, and the daily's been in a daily buy since right here on Friday. I'm not sure why it shows you Sunday night and then Monday, but it's doing that. And oh, let's see. Middle Age says the commercial hedgers in silver have the least amount of short positions in over a year in silver. Let's see. Let me read that again. That's interesting. The commercial hedgers in silver have, in other words, I guess the commercial hedgers are the miners. So they mine it out of the ground. A lot of times they just sell the futures contract. But I guess they're at a point now where they're just saying, what's the use of selling it? In other words, the odds are it's going up, not down. So I guess they're willing to sit around with 23 and 24 and 22 and $25, silver. That's what he's saying there. Commercial hedgers in silver have the least amount of short positions in over a year now in silver. That's another bullish sign. Oh, no doubt about it. I mean, we see all kinds of great things telling us that it wants to go up. Problem is that we can't get a weekly signal to do it. It just refuses to climb into that. And I guess the longer it does that, that's where that pressure is, But we do see like the SLV, it's through it already. So and a lot of times the paper will be ahead. Sometimes the metal itself never follows. But the paper can be, show like here's a good one. Let's go to the gold contract right here. And you can see, I mean, we were in a weekly sell from somewhere around in here last week. Now this is the deck contract, but I think it was the June contract that put us in there. We were in a sell from here with this big gap down. And then it basically was a nice little win. I remember saying at the time, that's a $35 win. It's better than nothing, And then you get this stuff. You get the strength here. Look at that. It comes from the 1750s all the way up to the 1830s. So you get yourself an $85 move, but we're deep in the weekly, and it's telling us that don't trust this, don't get long. And sure enough, it's back to the 18s again a few times, playing with it. And then, it's there again, and it's trying to do it now. And maybe this time, this becomes the higher low. I mean, you see a higher low here. Let's see, did this break that low? That's 1799. This one here is 1795. And obviously this one here is 1794. So you can see that we're having higher lows. And now, okay, so it pierced this one, so that's not doing it. But this needs to support that area, and that's why they buy it. Problem is that the overall buyers are just not there. They're just not there. It's just they don't have the conviction to get long, and that's why we're trapped in this situation with the metals now. Platinum's showing life in it now, and the silver ETF is in a weekly buy, and is the GDX in there again? The GDX. Oh, the GLD, the paper gold, is in a buy, and let's see what the GDX is doing. And the GDX is in a buy. So I mean, they're trying to buy this thing. That's what the pressure we're seeing here is on the gold itself. They're trying. They're just not doing too good a job at it because obviously the actual physical delivery gold is controlled by a power that seems to just doesn't want it to go up. And that's the gist of it all, I guess you could say, in the end. So. All right, let's jump over to. Did we do crude? I don't think we did crude. Let's go take a look at crude. Here's crude. And there's crude, and you can see it's pressured down, trying to get into a sell. But we're in a weekly buy now, and that product's been in a weekly buy. That's line 5. That's been in a buy for 10 weeks. So let's see if we can shrink this down a little bit for you. Right there. So it's been in the buy since the 60s, the mid-60s. I think it's like 65, something like that. 65.25, 64, 66. In that area, it went into the weekly buy. You see the line had been through the zero line. Somewhere, like literally almost the first day of the week, it was screaming at you to be long. And sure enough, the product did find a way to go up. And go from the 65s to the 75s. So at this point in time, we were, I guess for one of the articles we put out, you could see back 8 weeks ago, we were talking about the strength in this thing. And we probably were talking about this, get into a daily buy, get long. I went into the daily buy at June 21st at 7:30, and the next thing you know, 5 days later or 4 days later, I guess see right there, 1, 2, 3 days later, the high is 72.31. The next day, the high is 72.03. So, it was a nice winner chicken dinner, that's for sure. the oil complex does seem to be firm. You can see it's trying to be weak here. Couldn't break down there, but now it's breaking down today, and that's why the red line is up there. But we're in a weekly buy, so I mean it's not exactly something you want to run away from at the moment. You're just not long at the moment. You're just not short. Also, don't be short, because this thing can, with the weekly buy, not even being able to break the top time manifold. It right there alone says you be cautious. Don't try to get too short in this. Take profits. If you're using derivatives like binaries and options, that's fine. You can be still long because you're following the weekly. Middle age likes to do that. Follows the weekly more than he follows the daily, and just rides it with a 3 or 4 month call option or binary or something like that. All right. Let's see. Where do we go from here? We go from the oil and let's take a quick look at natural gas. That's why we had natural gas on the J4X, because we are now, what is that? That is line 10. So we're 16 weeks in a weekly buy from the two and change, and now we are at 4 and change. The buys have been wonderful products. I mean, opportunities. Every time we go into a buy, it finds a way to go up and give you money. It likes to give you money on a buy. There's only one right there, and it didn't do that. It didn't give you money. All the rest of them, every time you see a green line, it was a winner, winner, chicken dinner. Oh, there's another one. Okay, there's the second one right there. And then this one, as usual, Doc's Math finds a way to really make it up to you. It says, we are so sorry. And it goes from there all the way up to there. It goes from the 320s to the 380s? 380s. Yow. And so that second loss gives you a wonderful long. And then there's an okay one here, that gives you a buy there, and it makes just a teeny weeny little gain out of it. That's what good money management is. When Robin always talks about that, he says, hey, use good money management. Don't use a stop, so forth and so on when you're using the hard delta. And in this case here, you can see the buy here warns you there, the buy there, and another good win. And now it's in a sell. You're not short because why, traders? It's a weekly buy for 16 weeks. It's not even remotely showing anything that it wants to roll over. All right. I know middle age. You were thinking, damn, I should have ridden those calls. Yeah, I hear you. Let's see. Let's jump over to the South African Rand. See what's going on there. We go back to the currency arena. Where's that at? Is that right there? There it is. Right there. And it went into the sell a couple days ago on the 29th. No, it went in the sell on the 28th. So it went into the sell here. Let's put a little red line in there. Seems like they've got the Zuma thing behind them, or in other words, it's kind of over with. Something's going on there, and you can't take the short. You just know not to be long anymore at the moment, and that usually is indicative of, or it's a sign of, strength in the metals complex. Yeah, I know what you mean. I mean, it was, look when it started, 16 weeks ago. So it started in where did it start? Let's go back to that real quick. 16 weeks ago. What is 16 weeks? Is that January? No, let's see. We're in August now. So all of July, all of June, all of May, all of April. So basically at the end of March, it goes into a weekly buy, and everybody in the world usually thinks, okay, so it's going to go, maybe it'll go in and out once and then disappear. Instead, it just went on a rampage and just kept on climbing. It just refused. It was in the 270s, 280s, 260s, something like that, and finds a way to climb up to the 404. Wow! That's the only way I can describe that is wow. just at an odd time of the year, going into the summer months, and I guess that's Mr. Biden and cutting off the pipelines and doing all those other odd things that really are not very healthy for economy. All right. Then we'll slide over to the ruble. See what the ruble's doing. There's the ruble. The ruble's been in a daily sell for a bunch of days here. You see that slide down. Let's see what it looks like on J4X. And there's the ZAR. There's the ruble. So the ruble's been not going down big, but because we're in a weekly buy. We've been 4 full weeks in a weekly buy, and this was an interesting tip-off. It keeps on dragging down. And now, what's it doing? We're playing with the weekly sell again. Maybe they bought their painting, so, all the Russian oligarchs and the president of the Russian Federation may have bought all of Hunter Biden's artwork. So now that it's bought, they can feel good about their currency and watch it go down, show strength against the dollar. Pay in rubles, cheaper rubles. I guess everybody knows about that. Hunter Biden is selling paintings by the pound, I think it is. He's painting paintings and then sells them by square inches. I don't know, something like that. Square centimeters. His starting price is $500,000. Isn't it great to be a Democrat in America? It's like legalized theft. All right, and so then there's the ruble. From the ruble, we slide over to the Mexican peso. Hey, we jump continents. See what the peso's up there right there. Peso's in a weekly sell, then it closed in a weekly buy last week. And we got that little teeny hump we saw. That little, can you see that? Yeah, a little teeny hump occurred. Right there. And we don't have a buy yet. It's still moving down, and we're in a weekly buy. So that's, basically kind of stuck in that neutral situation where you don't want to be long or short. You just want to be neutral. And so that's where we are at the moment. We can get rid of that circle. Remove, there it is. And so we're in a daily sell and a weekly, well, it was in a weekly sell all, at one point you could be short this thing, and now it's telling you to be flat. So you were shorted all the way up until Thursday, going into Friday. And so now it's telling you to be flat, and it's in a weekly buy. So let's see if it gives us a buy signal and gives us another little hump like this. Just like that was a really good hump right there on the chart. Alrighty, let's see, so we did ruble, we did the South African rand, and we did the Mexican peso. What's the other one we do? I thought Japanese yen. Let's see what the yen is doing. There's the Japanese yen. That did go into a weekly sell last week. Let's put that in on the chart. So that's in the weekly sell, and it's been in the daily sell since here. So that was one of those thin little cells that you could take, but it was tricky. You were watching it closely. So we've been in the sell since there, and that's where we're at the moment. The pressure is on. Maybe it'll take out this low right here. And it seemed to bounce off of that low, which is there and there. See how it goes. And then it has a lower low further back in May. We'll see what that does. But we know one thing is that the dollar is, being the way it has been, and that is weak. I think it's where is it at? The ETF. Oh, let's do that. Let's throw where is it at? It's up top here. We're going to throw the coffee. Coffee was in a sell, I think it is. Right there, and let's find the coffee for middle age. Right there. Now it seems to be a little flatlined-ish, but we're in a daily sell from Friday. and we're still in a weekly buy, so not bad there. Coffee traded down again overnight, but is coming back now. Yeah, you can see that on the ETF. They're not showing the trade down, but they're showing that it's coming back. Also, we're still in the weekly buy, so I don't know. Did it make the $3 in the futures contract? Robin's got his eye on that. You know, he's convinced that we're going to see the $3 area. Did it make it to that yet? Remember, Robin used to write a newsletter for one of the brokerage houses in the softs. So he used to do the coffee, the cocoa, the sugar, and the cotton. Did I say orange juice? Coffee, cocoa, sugar, and orange juice. Yeah, 4 softs. 215. Oh my God! It's got so much further to go as far as Robin's concerned. He's been screaming $3 for like, I don't know, like 3 months. It's like, this thing's going to $3. This thing's going to $3. And here it is. It's ripping and roaring all the way up. He says something about the weather. He's been sending me crop reports out of Brazil. He says that the weather is just too cold. And it's kind of like what? The cherry tree. The coffee tree. Kind of, you know, those blossoms get damaged, you don't get growth. You don't get growth, you don't have inventory. No inventory, everybody's buying old coffee. Yeah, you think the $3 area too. I'll tell you, if it stays in this weekly buy, or imagine if this ETF could find a way to get into a weekly sell. I might not be able to chart the numbers for you, but I might be able to chase them down mathematically and see if I can find something on the futures contract. If the ETF goes into a weekly sell and then it comes right back into a weekly buy, man, that could be the refresher, you know. That could be like the number 4 on the RN Elliott 5 wave up, and that could be we could be on the 4 right now. That's what this could be, the 4 on the correction side of it. Yeah, that's something. All right, now let's. Where do we go from here? You want to see tags? Since we're here, I can show you tags. Let me show you tags. Tags are an ETF that follows corn, soybeans, and wheat, and get this, sugar. It has 4 commodities in it. I'm thinking $3 by March of next year. Well, if they're having this weather problem, yeah. I mean, you don't know how much of the crop is really wrecked, how much inventory there is not. So what happens is that it kind of stalls out, and then what you get is this heavy movement into the product going into like, I don't know, January or December or something like that, and that's the next leg. I mean, I kind of, if there's really a damaged crop, they're not going to let the ETF or the futures contract really back off much. There's the tags you can see, the second week in a weekly buy at the moment right there. Let's see, let's fix that underneath. Let's see, what is it? That's a default, isn't it? We want the pre. Right there. Let's just double check the day too. Yeah, it's got the pre in it. Okay, so, and it's just not updating yet. They just haven't updated it. Let me just give it a Control R. No, nothing yet. No update in the tags. Let's see. No beans weekly quant took a hit. Yeah. Here. Yeah, I was. You know what's really surprising me is all the wheat has been harvested around here now. You know, new crop wheat. And, you know, for miles upon miles, it's all gone. And now they've got soybeans. What they did is, the big thing around here this year has been to no-till simultaneously as they're harvesting wheat, they no-till beans into it. So they're only running the machine once, basically, saving a whole load of fuel. Especially with the cost of fuel at this high a price, it probably makes a lot of sense. And the beans look fantastic around here. So let's take a look at, let's see, where is it at? Not there. let's go and switch this. Let's take a look at the beans. Because, yeah, corn and beans are backing off. And wheat is still lifting on the new crop, which is curious as all get out in my head. So right there, you can see there's deck wheat. Look at deck wheat. You know, going for 727 as we speak right now. 728 is the high. And, you know, it's in a weekly buy for 3 weeks. Now, you slide over to deck corn, and deck corn has been dead. It's in a weekly buy, and now it's flirting with the weekly sell here. It's been in a daily sell since back here. I mean, what was that? 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It tried to get into a buy here, I guess, and failed at it. Now, I'm not sure what's going on there, but I think let's look. You know what? It did. It slid into a buy on that day. Before it wasn't in there. Now that's deck, and you can see here Sep wheat. Let's see. Oh, no, that's September. What is that? That's deck corn. Okay, so look at what else do we have when it comes to the corns? I think we have a September corn, which is, you know, the new crop right there. That did not. It did not slide into it, and it's also flirting with the weekly sell. And both of them are. And then beans are doing the same thing. No beans, you know, in a daily sell for a couple days here, and slipping into the weekly sell here. You know, it's kind of surprising, that's all. I'm long deck 700 calls from a couple weeks back. Oh, okay, what, in wheat? That's right, we talked about that, didn't we? At first I recommended the beans as a short term, and then the I guess you could call it recommend. I thought that the math looked like it was really trying to take off in the wheat, but I'm really surprised by it still. It doesn't matter what I saw, I'm still surprised by it. You know, new crop, and they're reaching for it. I guess they have less inventory. I guess that's the only way. Yeah, that 700 strike. That's good. And at the time, what was that? That was it was in the sixes, right? It was like 660, 670, right? Let's see if we can get that up back on the screen here. Yeah, it was 620s. Went into the weekly buy, I guess in the 670s and 680s, right in here, and then played with it, and now it's climbed back up again. So it was in the 700 at the same time. Well, at least, you know, it's up 27 more cents, so that's pretty positive. There's some, you know, I myself am kind of stunned. We're seeing corn and beans weakening, and they keep on buying. 1,400 open profit. Yeah, I keep on. I'm amazed that they're reaching for a new crop. It must show how bad the wheat crop is around North America for it to be playing with the $7 area. And the red wheat is doing the same thing. They're just, you know, red wheat is marching along just identical. Let's see, where's it at? Where are you, red wheat? There it is. There's the SEP red wheat. Same thing. You know, hold. Oh, okay, but it's not as high. So it's trading at 673 right now. Oh, that's Friday. Okay. Where is today's? I thought let's see what's going on here. Let's see if it does that. A little jacket. Yeah, there it is. Okay. So today's red wheat is trading at the high of 691. Huh. Interesting action. I mean, they must have, this zigzag right here, they must have recognized it. Let's see what a longer term pattern looks like. Coming up from the 450 area back in, or not 450, but 550 back in December. So the whole year has been trying to work its way up, and then it falls back here, and now it's made new highs, and now it's backed off again. It's kind of curious. I'm not really. I know Robin tells me there's a lot of problems getting into the fields out west, so I guess, you know, a lot of the wheat is, who knows, it could be foreign demand too. I mean, we see all the problems China's having. I mean, it's they got flooding. You see what they did with the poor pig crop. I mean, I guess a lot of their pig farms are down near the rivers, and so when they had all that massive flooding, they lost a lot of I mean, they supposedly lost millions of pigs. That must be really tough, for a country that's having a hard time feeding their people all the time. So, they tune into the U.S., the U.S. being the world's breadbasket, I guess you could say. All right. Anybody want to see anything else besides middle-aged me looking at these things? What else is there to be looked at here? I can show you the hogs. There's August hogs. They've been in the daily sell for a couple of days here, but I think it climbed into the weekly buy. Did it make it there, or did not? It just missed the weekly buy last week, but this week it closed in it. So it's in a weekly buy coming in today. Now we get a daily buy, and this thing may go back up to the 120 a pound. Wow. And that's what they refer to as on the hoof, not dressed. In other words, not butchered. And the same thing with cattle. You can see the same thing with April cattle. Back months, they were over up until last week. In the middle of the week, they had it up to $1.40 a pound, $1.40.60 to be exact. And it's still in a daily buy. It's been in a weekly buy for a while. Since May. Since the 133.34 area, it's been in a weekly buy. And it went up to 40. So October live cattle. What is it? I think it's trading in the 25s. Let's take a look at that. Let's see, where's it at? Let's see, there is right there. There's October. That's December. And there is August. There's October. October cattle is backing off a little bit, trying to play with a sell. Went into a buy there on Friday. It wasn't a sell. Could be getting legs again. Look at the back month. I mean, the back month has been as high as 140 and change. This is 13 cents cheaper. So that's something to think about. You get into we're in a weekly buy. We get into a daily buy, and it's got to be something you want to take serious. Yeah, I kind of think that it wants to lift. Look at what do we got? That's October cattle, and then I think DEC is holding on still. Let's see what DEC looks like. Right there. And if anybody wants to see a currency, we can jump right to a currency pair. We've done all the currency pairs we watch, but there are some on the spreadsheet there we haven't looked at, and if you're a follower of any of those things, let us know. We'll jump right back to the currencies. These are surrogate currencies at this point, as far as I'm concerned. Now there's DEC, and that DEC is holding up even better, and that went into a weekly buy a week before that. And then obviously, like you can see, the April's been in a weekly buy for a long while. It's not even acting like it's going to go down. So I would say that October's probably going to join in with the DEC and the April over time, especially if you can get a daily buy out of it. We've got some big crop around here, big herds. Some of the biggest herds I've seen in a while, because I live in cattle country here in southern New Jersey. So we have the oldest rodeo in America, and every weekend it's part of the big the big circuit. So if you ride in Mesquite, or you ride in Texas somewhere, or you ride in Oklahoma, we get riders from all those places. They come and ride here. We got good purses, and we got good bulls, and so forth. Yeah, I think DEC is probably the play, especially with the options, It seems like it's going to join in with the April. I mean, April is not showing any weakness whatsoever. That's what you're looking at right now. April is very, very tenacious. It refuses to show any weakness. Matter of fact, why don't we? I guess we could do this too. What is that? That's it right there. So we'll do this and this, and make it the dashed line like that, and take the white And I mean, that's just like watching the green line, basically. Oh, what happened there? I just thought I did that. Let's try that again. There, and there, and there, and there. Use just the gas itself. And so you can see here, you know, let's see if we can move this up just for interest's sake, for technical point of view. And we'll contract this. You can see, you know, when it got up in here, it did the correction, touched the, got through the blue, the second standard deviation. You see it, then broke down and went sideways, then it lifted again, never going minus, of course. And when you do look at it this way, let me just do this for you for a second, and then we'll go back to it, because I think other people are watching it this way. So we go like that. So you can see there, the line never breaking the zero line. Now it's climbing back up through here again. That's a definite warning that the April is showing some real life in here. And the white line, there we are. So it's trying to, you can see it there, it's lifting up. And that would make sense. If we're looking at April cattle here trading in the 139s, 140s, it makes a lot of sense. It really does, that the deck should join in and not fall back. Right there's the deck. Yeah, look how strong that is. It had that hump. So it went into the buy this week. That's why the line is in many ways, the line is better. The green line, like that. Because you get the flavor of it better. You can see where it joins in, like right here with the daily, and you can catch that ride. Might be fleeting, but you can catch it. And then now we're through that. So this looks like it's trying to join the April market. All right, traders. What else? We got a few more minutes here, or a minute or so. I can keep on rolling on if anybody needs to see something we have not looked at, but we're looking at it all, and we haven't even looked at the stock indices. Let's see if we can throw stock indices up on the screen here real quick, just to see where they're at. There they are. I know London was up and Frankfurt was up. They were all up. You can see S&P 500 up 17, almost 18 points. NASDAQ 100, or the Tech 100, the Dukascopy describes, up 66 points, 67 points. And the Dow Jones Industrial Average just basically at 100, 99, 98 now. They were about up 130, 140, I think, at one point. There's back to 100. And the high today is 55, and it's trading at, wow, it's come off the highs today, hasn't it? So it's down 100. At one point, it was up 200 points. So that's, what is that, 124. So it was up 223 points, 224 points, something like that. And now it's only up 100 points. No, it seems like nobody has any questions. I guess we'll just get out of here at this point. So today, I guess the big one I thought was ruble when it comes to the currencies. I thought it was interesting. Oh no, you know what was also good? Euro. Euro was climbing into a weekly buy. That was pretty cool. No problem, Middle Age. So I think we'll label this webinar as like Euro and Ruble. And how about DEC Gold too? DEC Gold is trying. It's playing with the weekly buy. So I mean, we know one thing is for sure. It's trying. We don't know how long it's going to last, because the hard delta, or the spot itself doesn't seem to have any life in it. But that is what it is, unfortunately. All right, traders. Happy trails to you until we meet again. Happy trails to you, to our Dukascopy trading friends. We'll catch you Tuesday. Doc saying over and out.